This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. This broadcast is presented by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? Visit GoCurrency.com. Faith Regional Health Services. When you need exemplary care, have faith. And by Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Find out more at LibertyFirstCU.com.
We welcome you to another edition of Corn Belt League Baseball on News Channel Nebraska. As tonight from J.J. Isaacson Field in Omaha, it's the Omaha Bombers and the Omaha Rail Riders. Overcast skies, not much wind, temperatures in the lower 80s before we get this one going. Looking forward to another good night of late season baseball in the Corn Belt League. My name is Jake Bartecki, seated to my right here at our News Channel Nebraska broadcast booth. As always is Mr. Andy Klassen. Good to have you with us, Andy, as always.
Thank you, Jake. And I think you're spot on. We're in for some really good baseball here. You know, the season's kind of played itself out. We know where everybody's at, and everyone is bunched up in the middle. Let me tell you what, the 8th place team, the Omaha Haymakers, are only 2 games behind these two teams who sit at 10, 10, and 1. That is the Bombers and the Rail Riders we have here tonight. You're looking at the yellow jerseys there with that yellow camouflage there around the midsection. But they're sitting at 10, 10, and 1, got that tie in there, and they're only 2 games up on the 8th place team, and they're only a game back from being in 2nd place. So you mentioned late season baseball. This is winding down. We will not have Thursday night baseball next week because we'll be doing the championship game Monday night.
Absolutely right. And again, the Bombers 10, 11, and 1, 3-2 losers to the Filth Ballers earlier today. Meanwhile, Jonathan Francisco's Omaha Rail Riders sitting at 10 wins, 10 losses, and a tie. So evenly matched throughout. Andy, we talked about the late season baseball. You mentioned it. Our next broadcast will be the championship game. How much pressure is on these two teams?
Well, you know, it is summer league baseball, so you're working on fundamentals and things of that nature. But, yeah, the pressure is definitely mounting because these games matter so much. I already mentioned it. Between the 2nd place and 8th place team, only 3 games separates the two, Jake. This is wild how all these teams have really bunched up in the middle here. Only the Omaha Blue Dogs are well out in front here with an overall record of 15-6, followed by the Crop Dusters at 11-9, and then, of course, the Bombers at 10, 10, and 1, and then everything really gets bunched up.
Nicholas Mersick on the bump for the Rail Riders. Colt Davis will do the pitching for the Bombers. More on that matchup, and a look at the starting lineups coming up as another Thursday night breeds Corn Belt League Baseball on NCN.
The pregame show is sponsored by Columbus Motor Company.
Whether
you'll
we're talking
find one
commercial
low
or
price,
residential,
plain and simple, always.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Woodhouse Chevy is making car buying better. Now with 2 convenient locations in Missouri Valley, Iowa, and our newest location in Omaha at 112th and Dodge. Plus, going on now, receive up to $6,000 off MSRP on the 2023 Chevy Silverado. Visit us in-store or online anytime to shop our current offers and inventory. Find new roads with Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley and now in Omaha.
Time now for a look at the starting lineups. There you see Wes King and Jonathan Francisco, managers for the Bombers and the Rail Riders, respectively, as they were the ones that set these lineups. Brought to you in part by the always delicious certified Piedmontese beef. Andy, I want to start with our pitching matchup in this one. First, let's look at the Bombers. Colt Davis, 3-2. 2.53 ERA, 23 strikeouts to just 8 walks.
Yeah.
That's in 22 and a third innings pitch. Talk about velocity. He's got good speed for this league or any league. He gets up to the lower 90s easily, and he can even get up to the mid and upper 90s.
Yeah, the most important thing there is not his wins to loss, but his ERA is extremely low, you know, sub 3 runs per game. And then also that strikeout to walk ratio that you mentioned, that's extremely important, regardless of the league, regardless of the level of play.
On the other side, Nicholas Mersick, 4-1. 2.78 ERA, another good strikeout to walk ratio, 36 strikeouts, just 11 walks, 36 and a third innings thrown.
Yeah, everything I just said about the Bombers starter, you can say about Mersick there. The ratio, you got to love that. Strikeouts to walks, so obviously he's got great command, not only of his fastball, but also of his off-speed and curveball stuff as well. It kind of looks like we're set up for a pretty gosh darn good pitcher's duel here late in the season.
And there you see Colt Davis, the Wayne State College product. A lot of players on this Bombers roster coming out of the Northeast Nebraska area in Wayne State. Nicholas Mersick, he comes out of York University. First, a look at the batting order as the Rail Riders will go to the plate first. 1, 2, and 3. Stephen Matchin, the second baseman, leads off. Kenneth Christensen plays third base and bats second. Batting third, the center fielder, Max Torres. That's 2 players out of Cal Miramar, 1 out of St. Cloud State. Then you've got Carlos Bolifer, the catcher behind the plate. He bats cleanup. Peyton Blinn will bat fifth. He'll be at shortstop. Carson Chiprez out of Southeast Community College. He'll bat sixth and play right field. 7, 8, 9. Lucas Slager at first base. Miles Gardino, he'll be the extra hitter. The designated hitter, that would be Jake Mermani. He's the designated hitter out of Malcaster College. And then batting 10th, Jack Schaffer out of left field. Once again, on the mound for the Bombers, there you see Colt Davis taking his warm-up pitches. Andy, anything you recognize right away?
Well, he's got a really nice-looking fastball, big, tall guy. He looks like he would have a good fastball. And, of course, so many Wayne State Wildcats on the Bombers team. Doesn't feel like they're cheating. They're wearing black and yellow for their collegiate team, but then also their summer league team.
Yeah, and that's something that Casey Sewell, one of the heads of the Corn Belt League, was saying. It's almost a little bit like a Wayne State Bombers type.
Exactly.
Opening pitch coming up as Stephen Matchin, the Cal Miramar product, makes his way into the box against Colt Davis. Again, 3-2, 2.53 ERA, 23 strikeouts, 8 walks, just over 22 innings thrown this year. First pitch, and we are underway. Chopper hit towards short. This should be playable for Farron. The throw to first. 6-3 on one pitch.
Fantastic job there by Farron, charging that ball the whole way, and then kind of had that little bounce. He had to kind of get up on his hip there. Nice, clean exchange from leather to hand. Threw it on the short hop, money all the way, and you love that as Colt Davis, your starting pitcher. One pitch, one out to start the game.
Keeps that pitch count down.
You bet.
Kenneth Christensen out of St. Cloud State, batting .256 on the year. Takes a fastball for a strike. 0-1 to go along with that. .256. 7 walks on the year. He's driven in 7. He has 3 extra base hits, a double, and a pair of triples as he lays off a pitch up high.
And early on here, you can see Colt Davis, 3 straight fastballs. Really wants to establish his velocity, his speed, which you talked about in the pregame.
1-1, fouled off right side. Ball and 2 strikes.
Christensen's really going to have to adjust here and try and catch up. He's got to be thinking fastball here, down 1-2 in the count.
We'll see what Davis goes to. He's thrown nothing but to this point. In the 4 pitches he's thrown, he throws another, and he strikes out Christensen for the second out of the inning, and strikeout number 1 on the scorebook, and there's quickly 2 gone.
And it's been all gas so far from Colt Davis, really leaning on that fastball. The location, Jake, is the key.
Cal Miramar's Max Torres comes in for his first hacks tonight. 286, having a good year. 10 driven in, 16 hits. And his only extra base hit coming as a double. But as we know, Andy, in this wood bat league, extra base hits sometimes they're not easy to come by.
They really aren't. This is quite the adjustment. And you know what? It makes these players into better hitters, switching from that aluminum alloy bat to a wooden bat here during the summer.
First off speed pitch of the night by Davis. The curveball drifts away, and it's 1-1 on Torres.
Oh.
Goes back to an off-speed pitch. A lot of movement there, and he's ahead 1-2.
A lot of movement, and man, did that really get it on the hands of Torres.
Looking for a 1-2-3 inning is Colt Davis, and looking for back-to-back strikeouts in the process. It's over the head of the second baseman, Aberg, and into right field for a base hit. So a 1-2-3 inning not going to happen. You can cancel the post-game show as Torres singles to right.
And that's why Torres is batting 286 at this point in the season. He makes the adjustments. He knew what he had to do. He went down, got it, just looped it over the second baseman's head. Didn't try and pull it to the left side. Just tried to put something in play, sprayed it out there, got himself on base.
Bases were empty with 2 outs, but now it's 1 on with 2 away for Chris Bollifer, the catcher, out of the University of Minnesota Crookston.
Bollifer batting .400 right now.
Got the best percentage on this Rail Riders group. Go along with that 409 driven in. That's a dozen hits and 2 doubles.
Exactly the type of guy who'd like batting in that cleanup position.
The only player to homer this year for the Rail Riders was Stephen Matchin, who led off with a 1-pitch ground out. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner over to second on a stolen base.
That was a heck of a good job by Bollifer to be able to, lay off, take that pitch, because that fastball crossed the plate, from left to right as we're looking behind the plate here.
2 balls, no strikes. Double glance to second by Davis, and he throws in a fastball that's driven straight back, and it's 2-1.
I'll tell you what, if Colt Davis can just hone that inside fastball, that is a lot to deal with as a hitter. Now, you just saw Torres kind of loop one, over the second baseman, but you'd take that chances with that type of a fastball and that type of location. It really ties the hitter up.
It's the first time tonight Colt Davis has been down in the count. Went down 2-0. He's got himself a strike to work with. The 2-1, make it 2 strikes to work with. A 2-1 curveball, swing and a miss.
Saw Bollifer kind of shake his head like, he got me on that one. He was looking fastball. He was swinging pretty hard the whole way. Just mistimed it.
There you see the University of Minnesota M on his helmet. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on second. A lot of 2s on the scorecard and the scoreboard with 2 gone in the top of the first. Weak grounder hit towards short. Farron quickly over to first base. Davis is there, and that will end the inning. Couple of ground outs, a single and a strikeout, and it is up to the Bombers here in the bottom of the first. Madsen, Ripa, and Wright all to face Nick Mersick.
If you're thinking about becoming a John Deere technician, receive a debt-free degree from Landmark Implement. With the John Deere Student Tech program, receive reimbursement for up to 100% of college tuition, fees, books, and room and board, plus a $5,000 tool stipend. Students are paid a competitive hourly wage for their work hours and are guaranteed employment at a Landmark location after graduation. Visit landmark.careers to find out more about the John Deere Student Tech program and become part of the Landmark difference.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman
I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sauter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back. For sure.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. The wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
Welcome back. There you see Mr. Nicholas Mersick warming up in the bullpen. Andy, the numbers on him, 4-1, 278, 36 strikeouts, 11 walks, and just over 36 innings thrown.
Not bad, not too shabby, would you say? And that's what the key is going to be, is he's going to have to match Colt Davis. You know, there's always a little bit of electricity to the air when you enter a ballpark and you know you have a couple of aces squaring off. That's exactly what we have here for Thursday Night Baseball on News Channel Nebraska here through the Corn Belt League.
Our batting order for the Omaha Bombers, who are 6-5 over their last 11, losers 3-2 earlier today to the Filth Ballers. Camden Madsen will lead things off. He plays left field. There's him taking his warm-up hacks in the batter's box. Nick Ripa, the extra hitter, will bat second. Batting third, Carson Wright. He'll be in right field tonight. Cade Davis bats fourth, the cleanup hitter playing first base. Tommy Rowland bats fifth out of the DH spot. Josh Poston, the catcher, will bat sixth. 7, 8, 9, second baseman Jacob Aberg. Shortstop Dalton Farron. Third baseman Gage Allen. And then the 10th hitter, center fielder Tyson McAlexander. Into the box for the first time tonight, Camden Madsen to face Mersick.
Really, there's a lot of things to like about Camden Madsen, not only his defense, but what he has brought offensively to the Bombers this entire season. Almost batting 400 with a 387 average right now from that leadoff position.
He's done a nice job, no doubt about that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Took a strike, then lays one offside, and it's 1-1. 1-1, just nibbles the outside part of the plate. Nice movement on that one. Talk about painting the corners, Andy.
You're exactly right, and that's what Mersick can give you. So versatile.
Ball and 2 strikes. That one fouled off.
And kind of hurried that one up, didn't he? I don't feel like Madsen really got into his stance there, but before he knew it, he had a high fastball, maybe a little outside, but he had to protect.
1-2 the count. Close pitch, no call from the home plate umpire, so the count evens once again, now at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
There's that discipline at the plate that we're talking about from Camden Madsen.
The 2-2.
Yep.
Upstairs, 3-2. So a full count pitch. And after Colt Davis was able to get 1 out on 1 pitch, it's a lengthy at bat here for Nicholas Mersick, the 3-2. Fouled off, and a little bit of trouble for Bollifer behind the plate.
Ooh, I think Bollifer took a foul ball there, and you saw Madsen had to really drop his bat, actually lost the handle. I don't think the bat actually hit Bollifer. I think it was just a foul ball.
Looks like he'll walk it off. Looks like Jonathan Francisco may send somebody out there to take a look at his catcher. Gives us an opportunity to say tonight's game in the first inning, brought to you by USAVE Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all of our customers. Not a good look.
Poor catchers, man. You really got to feel for these guys. Took the foul ball off the left thigh. Then the bat actually got him on the left arm. Getting all sorts of beat up. Here's Bollifer.
I think we're bad luck for catchers because every game we've come to, it seems like another catcher has had a tough night behind the plate.
That's just the life those guys behind the plate. That's the life they lead. They're tough guys.
You could say that again. Full count pitch as we're back underway, and that one bounces into the chest protector of Bollifer for ball 4 and a leadoff walk. Some call it the dreaded leadoff walk here for Nicholas Mersick on the mound.
That was a heck of an at-bat there from Camden Madsen. Got behind in the count, was able to battle back, and he laid off a couple really close ones that were just outside after getting an outside curveball called for a strike.
Nick Ripa comes in, the extra hitter, takes one just on the outside part of the plate for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Ripa, another one of these guys. It's right around 300 for average, batting 286 on the season.
Check over to first base. Back in time is Madsen. Yeah, to go along with that 286, Andy, a trio of RBIs. Been hit by a couple of pitches, got 6 hits. Still looking for his first extra base hit. Would love to get that here. The 0-1 takes a strike, and ahead is Mersick 0-2.
That was a little high, a little elevated, but, you know, if you stay consistent with it, I'm fine with a high, you know, pitch like that being called for a strike. Just know that if it's on your numbers, you know, it's going across your logo on your jersey, it could be a strike. That's just going to be an extended zone.
Madsen back safely, leads the league in stolen bases. He's tied with the man at the plate right now in that category, Nick Ripa, and him both at 11. As this one's chopped towards third, charging in is Christensen. The throw is high. Did he make the tag? Slager did not, and he does not agree with that call. Takes a few steps towards the mound.
Slager is saying, I made the tag. I made the tag there, and you know, at first blush, I thought he did as well.
Well, here we see it.
Throw is off the bag. No,
he made
was
the tag,
late.
but I think Ripa might have beaten it out.
I think you're exactly right. He did make the tag, but the umpire, phenomenal job there. Clearly saw the foot hit the bag before the tag. I mean, that was bang, bang. Good on blue here tonight early on. Umpires.
So it goes down as it looks like an error on the throw. So the error charged to Christensen, that goes down E5.
He had a heck of a scoop. Had to charge that one, got it on the short hop. Just a little off the mark with the throw. And it was a hurried up throw, too.
Carson Wright makes his first trip to the plate, and he gets ahead 2-0. So the command not there entirely for Nicholas Mersick. Obviously, some misfortune with an error by the infield, but a walk, and now he's behind 2-0, and there's still nobody out.
And that's a good-looking pitch right there. Umpire thinking maybe just a little too low. So I do think that strike zone is just elevated.
3 balls, no strikes, and just on the inside part of the plate, Mersick's able to get the call, 3-1.
Now Wright's going to have to protect. Well, not protect, but he's ahead in the count, so he can be selective is where I was going with that.
3-1 the count, runners on first and second, and a fastball just sneaks in the lower part of the zone. And the count runs full second time in 3 trips to the plate. We've had a full count. Camden Madsen, the last one to have that, and he got on with a walk. The 3-2 here. Chopper foul. We'll do it again on 3-2.
Excellent job that time. Allen went off, protecting on a really difficult pitch there. Knew what he had to do.
3 balls, 2 strikes once again. Carson Wright, the Dodge City Community College product, looking to drive in a run. Base hit, gives the Bombers the lead. Won't happen here. Chases a fastball outside for strike 3.
And that's Mersick's game there. He likes to pitch around some of these hitters. And when you run into some of these guys, like you saw with Camden Madsen, who has just an extreme ability of being patient at the plate and selective, you'll give up some walks. But you saw it right there, able to fool a batter, get the punch out, good for a strikeout.
That's out number 1 as well, and that brings up Wayne State's Cade Davis as the first baseman takes a strike, 0-1.
Well, Cade Davis, is that a baseball name or what? Some guys you hear the name, you're like, yeah, that's a baseball guy.
6 Wayne State players in this lineup tonight for West King, including Colt Davis, the pitcher.
You got to think the coaching staff loves that.
Grounder to third. This time Christensen up with it, goes over to Slager for the fielder's choice. So everybody advances 1 base. That moves Ripa over to second, Camden Madsen to third with 2 outs.
A little bit of a chopper over there to third base, handled, but it does advance the runners, as you mentioned, 90 feet closer. So this is a big moment early on here for Tommy Rowland. You know, base hit, could score 2.
Tommy Rowland, the first lefty to come to the plate tonight for the Bombers. Another player out of Wayne State. First pitch, taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. It's also a big spot for Nicholas Mersick.
It really is. And facing his first left-handed batter, as you mentioned, all of his curveballs, all of his off-speed, that's going to be coming in at Roland, much easier to, kind of handle as a pitch. It's not getting away from you. It's coming to you.
Roland takes a ball high, 1-1. This is a big confidence booster if Mersick can get out of this, too.
Oh, it'd do a lot for Colt Davis, your starting pitcher as well, with a couple runs on the board.
1-1, big swing at a slider, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Tommy Roland.
And the way it's been going with Mersick, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a fastball, changeup, curveball, anything's on the table here, well out in front of the count.
To get out of the inning, the 1-2 grounded towards short. It should do the job. Blinn to Slager, and out of the jam are the Rail Riders. They strand runners in scoring position, but no runs come across. We'll head to the second. Blinn, Chiprez, Slager, 2 up.
Experience what banking local feels like. Bank of the Valley is owned and managed by the people within our community. This means our decisions are made right here by people who care about you and the communities we serve. Knowing our customers personally helps our experienced team provide the best solutions as your banking needs and goals change. Stop into our newest branch in Schuyler, Nebraska, or visit any of our other bank locations in person or online. Bank of the Valley. Together, we go further.
We feel it at the grocery store, when we pay our cable bill, or purchase our favorite coffee. Costs are on the rise. That's not true with electricity. For the past 10 years, customers in communities served by Nebraska Public Power District have enjoyed no annual overall rate increases. So, considering how electricity powers our everyday, it remains a great value. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
Corn Belt League Baseball on NCN, brought to you in part by a number of presenting sponsors, including Columbus Motor, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always. Peyton Blinn, Carson Chiprez, and Lucas Slager all set to face off with Colt Davis, who Andy was pretty efficient in the first half.
Really was. Look at that big hair there, big kid. Had great command of his fastball on the top of that first inning, and started off really well, as good as you could ask for. 1 pitch, 1 out to start off that first inning.
Peyton Blinn out of IUPUC, the shortstop, left-handed batter, doesn't chase a fastball on the outside part of the plate, and it's 1-0. Grounder back up the middle, and that's through the gap behind the back of Colt Davis on the mound. It splits Farron and Aberg up the middle, and a leadoff single here for the Rail Riders.
Blinn's your 5-hole hitter, the shortstop, as you mentioned, but as a hitting coach, you love to see that. In this role, he was a leadoff man, got himself on base. That wasn't a powerful swing there, was it? He just poked it right back up the middle, solid, squared it up, and put it right back at the pitcher, get himself on base here, start things off top of the second.
Sometimes about putting the ball where there's no fielders.
There you go.
First pitch to Carson Chiprez, the right fielder out of Southeast Community College in Beatrice, takes a ball outside, 1-0.
Another school real well represented here in the Corn Belt League, Southeast Community College.
Chiprez, 282 on the year. Walked 10 times, as this could be 2. The transfer not there. Aberg tried to flip it on to Dalton Farron, and Farron couldn't squeeze it. I don't know who you really fault there, Andy.
Yeah, that's a tough one. We're going to get another look at it here. Farron will tell you that, hey, that's on me, but the throw was a little low and outside. It wasn't bad, though. Oh, that was right where you want it, really. Farron just kind of booted it.
So each team now with an error as that goes down on E6, I would assume. E6 or E4, it's got to be one of the two. So runners on first and second for Lucas Slager, first baseman of IUPUC.
And what a huge, impactful play that could have been. You could have 2 outs. Instead you have 2 base runners, no outs.
Kick and deal from Davis, high in the air down the left field line, but that's hooking foul, so it's 0-1.
And the youngsters are on their horse trying to get, what do they get, a quarter per foul
Something like that,
ball?
or a treat.
Yeah, I was going to say
prize.
maybe a candy bar or something.
That'd work.
Might have to drop my headset. I'm getting a little hungry up here, Jake.
Well, go grab yourself a Snickers bar if you can catch a foul ball. We've had a couple come up
We
right
have.
in our wheelhouse here. We just unfortunately have the windows closed.
I might have to just whip that window open if we get another one of those.
There you go. 0-1 the count. Just outside, and it's 1-1 as Poston comes out of his crouch to reel in that one.
Big first baseman. They're doing a really nice job laying off something that was low and outside, getting ahead in the count here, 2-1.
Two balls and one strike to Lucas Slager. And that one just off the plate, and it's 3-1. Boy, we're seeing a narrow strike zone tonight, haven't we?
Well, we have seen some elevated, fastballs that were kind of, I thought, high in the zone that were called for strikes. Just kind of got to hone in on the zone here.
3 balls, 1 strike. And that one is in there, says the home plate umpire. So the count runs full on Lucas Slager, the first baseman, with runners on first and second. There's Peyton Blinn, who stands on second with a single to lead off the inning.
And that's how important it was for Slager to get ahead in the count there. He could lay off that little sinker or slider that came in on his hands that he didn't want to hit. Didn't want to swing at.
Full count, another chance at a double play. They get the first out. They go to first. And just off the bag was Davis over at first base. So that will only result in 1 out, but they'll take it. Runners on the corners.
Yeah, Farron really had to hurry up this one, but he knew he had to clinch it in there to get that for sure out. And give Slager a lot of credit for hustling that out and beating the throw.
So runners on first and third after the fielder's choice on the infield. And there's 1 gone. Brings up Miles Gardino, the extra hitter out of West Valley College. Runner goes down for second. No throw from Poston behind the plate. And now becomes a much more dangerous situation, Andy. Runners on second and third, just 1 away.
Really does. The big first baseman, give him credit. You got a good jump on that, but that always drove me nuts when we were playing and we wouldn't throw it down to second base just because the guy was on third. You got to have confidence in your arms.
Chopper back up the middle. Farron is there. The throw over to first in time, but that scores a run. It's a sacrifice ground out for an RBI, and the Rail Riders draw first blood.
And you got to like Farron with his decisiveness there. Didn't look home, knew that he was beat, just made the for sure play, the for sure out at home. Great charge, got on the hop there, rifle it over to first base, get that second out on the board.
Our second inning brought to you in part by Faith Regional Physician Services. When hard work hits you hard, have faith. So a runner on third here. After the sacrifice ground out, scores a run.
Evens the count, 1-1 here.
And it brings up Jake Merkamy. Designated hitter out of McAllister College. And the ball gets away behind home plate. That's going to score a run. Wild pitch, and it's a 2-0 ball game.
And I was thinking that, Jake, I really was, but I didn't want to say anything that a pass ball would bring Slager home because he was really dancing over there on third base, getting kind of a wide lead there. You kind of feel like that was his head coach, Francisco, telling him, hey, make your presence known over there, and if it's a pass ball, we got to get you in.
Murakami now down 2-2.
By the way, Jonathan Francisco had a really nice write-up in the Omaha World Herald paper just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, did somebody did an interview on him? I didn't see that.
Yes.
2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. We'll talk about that on the other side. That's out number 3, 2 runs across here in the second inning. We'll head to the bottom of the second. The Bombers looking to answer.
your investment and your peace of mind. With the John Henry's Membership Club, you'll get treated like family. We make you a priority and ensure comfort, safety, and savings. With our Heating and Cooling Membership Club, you'll find comfort knowing your system is doing its job properly. You'll get priority service plus exclusive discounts, 24-hour guaranteed service, and so much more. We also offer dryer vent clearing plans and annual humidifier services. How's that for peace of mind? John Henry's, our family, serving yours since 1996.
No matter what your age, skill level, or position, your baseball season begins at the Strike Zone. Featuring state-of-the-art batting cages, group and private instruction, the Strike Zone provides athletes all the training and equipment you need to get your game to the next level. Give the gift of development to your baseball or softball player. Purchase your Strike Zone gift cards today. Baseball never ends at the Strike Zone.
Andy, let's get a look at this run coming across that made it 2-0, just up and over the glove of Poston behind the plate.
Yeah, and Slager was doing a lot of dancing over there. You can't help but think that maybe Colt Davis had a little bit of his right eye looking his way. I don't know. We haven't seen too many of those issues as far as control. The pitch is getting away from Colt Davis, but at a crucial time there in the second inning, one does get away.
2 runs on a couple of hits and an error for the Rail Riders, the road team in this one. No runs, no hits, 1 error for the Omaha Bombers as Josh Poston, the catcher, was involved in that run scoring on the wild pitch, leads off as he fouls one down the right field corner.
Yeah, and that was tough, too. He had to get up out of his squat, get that glove up and over to his left, and it just caught a little bit of it, just couldn't quite haul it in.
No balls, 1 strike to Poston, the catcher, undeclared for College. 0-1, good pitch, called a ball, 1-1.
It looked awfully close, as you mentioned there. Have a tight strike zone here tonight.
Poston coming into this one batting just 118. He has just 2 hits on the year, and he takes a strike, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Good movement, working left to right as we're looking at from behind the plate here up in the press box. Boy, and that fastball, that hits another gear, doesn't it?
Sure does. When we talked about both of these pitchers having velocity, Mercer can get up into the lower 90s on occasion, but Colt Davis on the other side, that's pretty regular for him. 2-2 off the corner, and it's 3-2.
Well out of the zone there, Poston. Didn't even have to think about that one. And if I'm at the plate, I am thinking fastball right here. Mercick has to bring a strike.
3-2 popped up in foul territory. Tough play for Slager. He tries but can't reel it in.
Just short-armed it a little bit there. As you mentioned, that was going to be tough. Nice job getting a beat on it. Got over there. Just kind of short-armed it just a little bit there at the end.
So we'll do it again on 3-2. Third time tonight, Mercick has been in a 3-2 situation, so not ideal for his pitch count. There you see it.
Yeah, Lucas Slager, I mean, he made a play on it, that's for sure. And that's the type of pitcher Nicholas Mercick is. He's not afraid to work around a batter, uses off-speed, uses changeup.
3-2 upstairs, and for the first 2 innings of this ball game, Mercick issues lead-off walks. It was to Camden Madsen to start the ball game. Now to start the second inning, it's Josh Poston.
Poston's going to get a courtesy runner here. Looks like it's going to be Luke Tillman, the speedster.
And Tillman comes in. Good number of stolen bases. He's done that a couple of times this season. He's got 6 of them. Most of them coming out of that pinch run roll as Jacob Aber got a Peru State. Steps in, lifts one to right field. Should be playable for Chiprez, and it is. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Chiprez made a really nice read right off the bat, made the correct step in and to his left to go snag that one.
That brings up Dalton Fearon, the shortstop out of Simpson College. Double play situation here, and it could end the inning. We've seen a couple of those on the other side where the Bombers had an opportunity to turn one. One, they were late on a throw. The other, there was no second throw. Aaron
Yeah,
takes
so
one
we-
off the plate, 1-0.
Seen the good and a little bit of the bad from Dalton Farron defensively, and they've been bang tough plays on the defensive side for him here tonight. He's got a lot of pressure thrown at him, which you expect that from your middle infielders, especially with a low fastball type of guy like Colt Davis as your starting pitcher.
Tillman back underneath the pickoff attempt. That one fouled off, 1-1.
Right there, I feel is Mersick's best pitch. That fastball, maybe a little low, maybe away from the hitter. I was a little surprised when he filled up the count on the last at bat, how he went to his curveball for the punch out. I really like his fastball.
1-1.
There it is.
Check swing. Did he go? He did. Back in time to throw down. Tillman just got back. So 1-2 with one out, and a squirrely Tillman over at first base, looking like he's trying to steal at any opportunity. But so far, the Rail Riders have been on it.
And the scouting report's out by this time. The Bombers, extremely aggressive, have the two leading base stealers in the Corn Belt League.
Low pitch in the strike zone, but it's good enough for a called strike 3. Strikeout number 2 on the night for Rail Riders starter Nicholas Mersick. And there's 2 gone.
Gonna bring up Gage Allen here. The right-handed stick for the Bombers.
Allen out of Ventura College, playing third base this evening. Tillman back on another pickoff attempt.
Back with plenty of time there. Tillman wasn't even getting into his full stretch or his full lead. As Mersick's like, nah, that's far enough. I'm going to keep you in check here.
Want to know the count to Gage Allen. Kick and deal. Make
Tell
it
you,
2-0.
One thing that Nicholas Mersick has going for him as far as keeping runners close to first base or second base, you know, when they go to lead off, he has a quick delivery regardless. So that doesn't give these runners really as much time as maybe they're used to.
2-0. Dropped in, but called the ball. 3 balls and no strikes. An ultimate hitter's count here for Gage Allen.
Once again, another pitch that didn't look too bad, didn't miss by much.
3-0 is in there for a strike as Allen takes all the way, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, Allen wasn't even thinking about swinging at that 3-0 pitch. Not a bad idea.
3 balls and a strike with 2 gone. 3-1, and it's a ball in the dirt for ball 4. Runner took off, but Tillman will automatically be awarded second base as it's the 3rd walk issued tonight by Mersick in the 2nd of the inning. So Tyson McAlexander out of Simpson College comes in. Center fielder hitting out of the 10-hole this evening. Runners on first and second.
And that's another one of those rules with the Corn Belt League, a development collegiate league. You have an extra hitter and a DH, and that's Tyson McAlexander here tonight.
0-1 the count. That one outside, and it's 1-1.
And Bombers really trying to put together a 2-out rally here. A couple runners on board. Can they move them around?
It's the second time they've had 2 runners on in as many innings, and a big swing at a changeup, and it's 1-2 to McAlexander.
You really got to appreciate how Mersick, tonight's starting pitcher for the Railroad, how he can change it up. You know, the number of tools in his toolbox, you know.
McAlexander batting .205 on the year, still looking for his first run driven in as he fouls one off. Could do it here.
Yeah, and that pitch had a lot of movement on it. McAlexander really had to go down and kind of a looping swing to get a piece of that one.
One ball, 2 strikes. upstairs, and it's 2-2.
And we've seen pitches similar to that called strike, so that was obviously pretty gosh darn close.
Strike zone's been narrow at times. That was an example of it. We'll see if Mercick can respond. 2-2 grounder to short, and it goes off the glove of Blinn at shortstop. A run comes across, and it's now a 2-1 ball game as the Bombers get on the board.
Crafty little move there from the base runner Tillman. Kind of got in the way, didn't cause any interference, didn't touch the ball, but just kind of brushed in front of Blinn there, and Blinn had a kind of a tough backhand attempt. Ball just gobbled him up, and that was the difference there. A 2-out rally does take form here for the Bombers as they get one across.
And it's scored as an error, so a run does come across, an RBI charge to Tyson McAlexander as Camden Madsen comes to the plate.
And you got your leadoff man back in the box.
Madsen, no official at bat. He walked to start the ball game.
And Bombers will take another one of those right now. Load things up for Nick Ripa, the 2-hole hitter.
There are 2 outs, so one pitch can get Mercick out of the inning. One and one. Chopper hit towards third, and a step on the bag will end the inning. A run comes across. Bombers are on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game heading to the third.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people that we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
Life is a wild ride. It's important to have a trusted partner along the way. Liberty First Credit Union exists to provide its members with affordable financial services. Whether it is a large purchase, a new car or home remodel, overcoming obstacles, or chasing your dreams, financing life is what we do best. Give us a call or visit libertyfirstcu.com.
Ten, 1, and 2 due up for the Rail Riders here in the third. That's Jack Schaffer, Stephen Matchin, and Kenneth Christensen all to face Colt Davis. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Rail Riders. 1 run, no hits, and 1 error for the Omaha Bombers. First pitch to Jackson Schaffer is on his way, and it is low for a ball. Ball and no strikes. And we do want to welcome in now, as this one's lifted to right field and down for a base hit, Mr. Casey Siwa, one of the heads of this Corn Belt League. Casey, we appreciate you coming on. How you doing, my friend?
Jake, thanks for having me on. I'm doing well. Just enjoying another one-run baseball game here at the ballpark.
And I know you take a little bit of credit for those one-run games, because I know one of your roles, as your dad has said many times, is you sometimes set the matchups.
Yeah, you know, I just when I get a roster of 180 guys, I have to figure out how to put 8 teams together and make it all even so nobody's taken over the league. And so far, so good this year. It looks like about 5 teams are all in the middle of the pack, and anybody can be second seed and anybody can be the last seed.
So let's talk a little bit about this Corn Belt League. I know it's something you and your dad and everybody at the Strike Zone takes a lot of pride in. I mean, what does it mean to you, and how do you think another year of it has gone?
It's been a really successful year. A lot of these out-of-state kids enjoyed what Omaha has to offer, including the job opportunities and the College World Series. And I haven't heard as many complaints as I thought I might, but it seems like everybody's enjoyed their host families and they've been getting treated the right way.
Cool. Runner takes off for second as Schaffer gets in there safely, so a runner in scoring position with nobody out. We talked a little bit about your roles, and one of them is to set the rosters, but it's also to set the schedule, which kind of has gotten us to a pretty good point. Talk a little bit about where the standings are. I mean, you've got a hornet's nest in the middle of the league.
Yes, we do. Looks like we got 6 teams that are all about the same record. We have one team that's about 4 games ahead of everybody else in first place, but they took a loss today, and that just means anything can happen. Most of the teams have about 4 to 6 games remaining in the season. The regular season ends next Tuesday, and then we're going to start up a single elimination tournament after that.
Fly out to right here for Matchin. That's a sacrifice fly, so Schaffer with 1 out moves over to third base. There you see it. That was a long run for Wright in right field, but he's able to haul it in. So playoffs around the corner, as you guys, had said, the tournament is around the corner. Explain a little bit how that's going to work and what you might expect.
So on Tuesday, the regular season's going to end, and then we're going to get into a single elimination tournament after that where we'll seed all the teams 1 to 8. Great play there by the pitcher.
No doubt about that. A throw home. Went back to the mound. Colt Davis goes to his catcher, and the tag is made. So it goes down as a fielder's choice as Christensen gets over to first. Casey, you're a former baseball player. Is that the right play?
That was a great play right there to make the out at home, keep it a 1-run differential, and hopefully the bats can come out in this bottom half of the third.
It goes down 1-2. You don't see 1-2 on a scorebook very often, do you?
Not too often. Just those plays ball back at him.
So you also work at the strike zone. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, everybody raves about the strike zone and all the good things that they have to offer. Great deal for these players in Omaha.
It's been great. My dad's ran that for the last 27 years, and ever since I was little, I've been hanging out there. That's been my second home, and now I'm lucky enough to be giving out lessons and teaching younger kids I do the pitching lessons over at the strike zone. So I enjoy showing the kids the proper mechanics and how to act when you're on a pitcher's mound.
How good does it make you feel when a young pitcher, comes in and says, hey, I've been trying to get more velocity on my fastball. I'm trying to learn how to throw a circle changeup. And then they come back after working with you or someone else at the strike zone and said, hey, I struck somebody out with the pitch you taught me. That has to be a good feeling.
That's been a great feeling, and I had the pleasure of umpiring a lot of the kids that I actually gave the lessons to throughout the off season because I umpire as well.
Now, you're not biased.
I'm not biased
You're not
at all.
biased.
Nope.
No. And they probably appreciate that.
Yeah, and they know that. They know that going into it. When they know I'm going to be umpiring them, they're aware that I'm not going to treat them like I'm closer with them than I am the other team. Everybody's equal out there.
3-0 the count to Max Torres, who's 1 for 1, single to right, and a stolen base before he was stranded on second in the first. We're chatting with KC Siwa, one of the heads of the Corn Belt League out of the great city of Omaha, and we've had the passion and the privilege to be able to broadcast these games on Thursday nights on News Channel Nebraska, as that one's low for ball 4, and it puts a runner on. So runners on first and second here with a run nearly coming across. Great play by Davis on the mound to prevent a run from scoring. But now with 2 outs, runners on first and second. Guys have a big event coming up in a couple of weeks on the 26th, golf tournament over in Council Bluffs.
We are looking forward to that. Yeah, we're going to have our 2-man scramble out there August 26th, and it's a great event. We hope that News Channel Nebraska gets a team out there with us. And
I think we will.
Competes out there and gets to experience what Corn Belt League golf fundraiser is all about.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time right before the Huskers football season
Right before the Husker season, and we've got a concert going on that same night across the street over at the Harris Stir Cove. And it's going to be fun to intertwine everything and enjoy the music as well as the golf.
A lot more pressure on Colt Davis now as that one gets through the legs of Poston behind the plate and allows Torres and Christensen to advance. So 1-0 the count, runners on second and third here. Similar situation to what the Bombers had offensively in their half of the first inning. They ended the inning stranding runners on second and third as this one's upstairs 2-0 to Chris Bolifer, the catcher, 0 for 1 with a ground out to shortstop. Casey, what would you say in the simplest terms as Wes King makes his way out to the mound? What does the Corn Belt League mean to you and to your dad?
It means a lot. I mean, baseball's been a big part of our family, and a big part of our family, and being able to offer these college kids the same experience I had when I played in the Corn Belt League has been great. And I remember when I was in high school, I was able to, or my parents, I guess, not me, but we hosted a kid that from Arkansas, and it was fun having a kind of big brother for the summer and having him as a mentor, and that's how I was able to get through my senior year of high school.
So you've seen pretty much every aspect of being a Corn Belt League representative. I mean, you've played in it, you played college baseball, you've run the league, you've been a host family. I mean, what part of it has stood out to you the most?
Just the talent level keeps getting better every year, it seems. The pitching this year has been top-notch, and finally the bats are starting to come around the second half. I think a lot of these kids had take a couple weeks to get used to hitting the wood bats, and now they're figuring it out, and we're seeing a lot more home runs and balls hit to the fence.
Yeah, you don't see many home runs. I don't think we've seen a home run since News Channel Nebraska, at least since I've been here calling games. I'd like to see one. I'm sure it's a sight to see with wood bats.
Yeah, maybe tonight we'll get to see the first one for you guys.
2 balls and 1 strike to Chris Bolivar after the mound visit. Wes King went out to have a conversation with Colt Davis and swing and a miss, 2-2. So you played college baseball.
I did, yep. I pitched for 2 years, and I ended up having Tommy John surgery, and after that, I never bounced back.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yep,
it's hard to bounce back from.
It is, but I recovered, and I still throw to this day, so I enjoy going out and playing baseball and catch with my dad. He and I still go out and play toss together.
Here's a grounder back to the mound. Davis up with it, underhands onto first, and the Bombers work themselves out of the jam. Casey, we appreciate you, and we appreciate you coming on the broadcast, and we appreciate everything you do for the great Corn Belt League, my friend.
Jake, thanks for having me.
Yep, that's Casey Siwa. We will head to the bottom of the third, 2-1 in favor of the Rail Riders.
It all started long ago with cattle in mind, and it's still the major focus today of Powder River Livestock Handling Equipment and your friends at Valley Vet Supply in Marysville. They want to provide you with the best equipment. That's why they sell Powder River. It truly does stand the test of time. Powder River is a name you can trust. From cattle handling systems to gates and feeders, Powder River makes equipment for life. Come see for yourself at Valley Vet Supply on Highway 36 in Marysville.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. If your business needs help financing big-ticket items, visit gocurrency.com for details. And by Custom Sports. Represent your school and look good doing it with Custom Sports.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're here at the grill, waiting for the flip.
He has a great hot lie here on the grill. Looks like he is going with the tongs here, Jim. A great choice.
Timing is everything.
Nailed it!
A flip for the ages.
What a flip. Perfect marks. I'd take a slice out of that one.
Certified Piedmontese. Real Nebraska beef. So tender and dripping in flavor, you won't believe a steak this good can be shipped right to your front door.
Welcome back to the Corn Belt League. There you see Nicholas Mersick taking his warm-up pitches as his team up 2-1. Mersick trying to protect that lead against Nick Ripa, Carson Wright, and Cade Davis. The only one to get on base out of those 3 in the first. Ripa, who comes to the plate now, having reached on an error. Andy Klassen, you heard our conversation with KC Siwa. He's done a tremendous job, I think, this year in making the schedule and making the rosters.
Obviously, he's done a great job of equalizing the teams with the talent parity to the league. You have the Royal Blue Dogs that are about 4 games out in front of that first place. Otherwise, about 2 or 3 games separate the number 2 to the number 8 team in the league. So phenomenal job coordinating those rosters. And, you know, just listening to Casey talk there, I don't think there's a guy on the planet that knows the Corn Belt League inside and out better than that young man.
We appreciate what he and his dad do, and that they have us come out to call these games. We've seen some good ones so far this year, and another tonight, 2-1. And Colt Davis works his way out of another really tough jam that he kind of had to work out two versions of.
Yeah, and he did a heck of a job. You guys mentioned that defensive play where he just fired it home. Great decisiveness. And then the defensive, ooh, what a shot. Nice rip.
Down the left field line. That is a base hit. Good effort by Christensen, but he just misplays it a little bit, and it's a leadoff single to left for Nick Ripa.
Yeah, really nice look at it here on the Bank of the Valley replay, but Ripa got all of that one and rips it down the third base line, frozen rope line drive.
Rip by Ripa, and Carson Wright comes in. 0 for 1 was the first of 2 strikeout victims for Nicholas Mersick. Went down after a 12-pitch at-bat to end the first inning, and the first pitch here to him in the second is a fastball for a strike.
Yeah, that's why you guys had your conversation there. I got to kind of look at the crowd a little bit, and no surprise, there's a couple Wayne State T-shirts and hats out there amongst the crowd.
Well, and of course, Carson Wright out of Dodge City Community College, but he's the only player in the first 5 in the batting order for the Bombers that isn't from Wayne State.
So, and that's another cool thing for us at News Channel Nebraska is, you know, we cover Wayne State, we cover Doane and UNK, Kearney, University of Nebraska at Kearney, but then we also cover a lot of these kids in their high school years, whether it's baseball, basketball, or football.
Sure.
We get to, an opportunity to see them again here on the diamond throughout the Corn Belt League.
No balls, 1 strike, the pitch, and here we go, throw down to third. It was a long lead for Ripa, but the throw from Chris Bollifer to Luke Slager bounced. He's back in time, so it goes down as a ball, 1-1.
Boy, Bollifer's been getting after it. He's throwing it down to first base, trying to get a cheap one there. You got to think Mersick, his pitcher, well, he'd appreciate that.
1-1. Upstairs, and it's 2-1. Our third inning is brought to you in part by one of the places that KC does a lot of his work. That would be brought to you by Strike Zone. Train here, compete anywhere. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pickoff, close play, but the infield umpire says Ripa was back in time.
Schlager tried to sell it, the first baseman there for the Rail Riders.
2-1 the count. Fouled off right side, 2-2.
You know, and we mentioned just about every broadcast how Papillion, La Vista South, Bellevue West, how there's so many programs at the high school level around this metro area. And a lot of these guys, especially during the off season, do a lot of their training at the Strike Zone. You hear so many stories from these players. When I get to do the player of the game interview, you know, during the post game, they always mention, yeah, you know, when I was really little, I used to always go to the Strike Zone. Now I'm right back there as a collegiate player.
Yep, especially for a lot of the players from Omaha. Boy, Mersick on the mound is very confident that he is going to be able to pick off Ripa because that is the 5th time he's thrown over that way.
Everything Mersick does is quick. He's got great quickness about him.
2-1, grounded foul, 2-2.
You saw it right there at that windup. I mean, he barely took any time. I don't know if Carson Wright was 100% ready for that ball to be delivered to home plate. Dog days of summer, would you say there, Jake?
I would say so. Got a couple of dogs out at the ballpark tonight. Two balls, 2 strikes. Mersick looking for his 3rd strikeout to continue the clip of 1 per inning. And now an extra pickoff is going to be trouble. Ripa to second. Ripa is going to get into third standing. That'll go down as the 3rd error of the ball game on the Rail Riders. An extra pickoff attempt hurts Nick Mersick.
Yeah, one thing about his quick twitch there, a lot of his throwovers have been low and inside. He's trying to put it on a spot, right, for Slager to make that tag. That one just gobbled up a little too much dirt and then ran up the right field line there, allowing for the base runner to continue all the way to third.
2-2. Hit towards center. This might score a run. Torres has it. Throw is offline, and coming home safely is Ripa. A sacrifice fly to center scores a run, and right back in it. Tie ball game. a 3-1 ball game now as the tie ball game, 2-2. Boy, got all twisted up here on my score sheet. 2-2 the score after the sacrifice fly.
Regardless, that's how big that throwing error was. Allowed for the speedster, Nick Ripa, to motor all the way over to third base, and then just a phenomenal job from Carson Wright, making the adjustment at the plate, knowing all I have to do now is elevate one to the outfield. That's going to be good for an RBI.
Grounder hit towards second here. Throw on to first by Machin is in time for out number 1.
And then make it look so easy, just a pitch later. Chopping one down, Cade Davis with the grounder.
So 2 gone here in the third. As that brings up Tommy Rowland, the designated hitter, 0 for 1. The ground out to shortstop.
Big kid is the lefty, Tommy Rowland.
Ball in the dirt, 1-0. Mersick has a strikeout per inning, but he doesn't have any here as this one's fouled off 1-1.
That was a nice looking pitch. A little low, a little outside, away from the powerful Tommy Rowland.
No one on, 2 outs, but a run across here. And it'll go down as another unearned run. 1-1. This one in the dirt, and it bounces away from Bollifer, and it's 2-1.
Try to go back to the well there, go back to a similar pitch, just got a little too far outside there.
The 2-1. At upstairs, and it's 3-1.
This is where Rowland can be real selective. You mentioned he's, had some issues at the plate. Well, here's a really nice count for you to work with a pitch.
Grounder up the middle. Long run to it for Blinn. The throw is in time, makes it look easy. After a run scores, Mersick settles back in for a flyout and a couple of ground outs. And we head to the bottom of the third. We're halfway home on NCN.
At Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN, listening to you to create an individualized healthcare plan that fits your needs and preferences is our top priority. Whether you need an annual checkup, specialized gynecology care, or pregnancy management, we partner with you to provide expert care using advanced practices, technology, and techniques. Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN. Care on your terms is the Faith difference.
From the moment you realized you needed ongoing care, to the long conversations with loved ones, and the scare of having to leave the home you've lived in for so many years, to the moment you realized you didn't have to meeting your caregiver for the first time, and those initial fears turning into new friendships, to the moment you felt more supported than you have in a really long time.
Thank you.
We've been here for you, just around the corner. Columbus Community Hospital.
NCN Sports is sponsored by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. Columbus Motor Company, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
Top of the fourth inning. You said the dog days of summer, Andy. There you go.
Yep. It seems like we always have at least 1 or 2 dogs here, a couple of breeds represented these Corn Belt leagues. And that's just another thing I really appreciate about this league is kind of the laid-back atmosphere. You can just really go to the old ballpark and enjoy the game.
78 degrees, and you see the overcast skies here at Seymour Smith Park, J.J. Isaacson Field. Drop down to the middle 70s by the time this one's over. No heat, no rain, just a dry, comfortable summer July evening.
So yeah, you couldn't get much more comfortable as far as a mid-July baseball game here in Cornhusker State.
1 ball, no strikes. As Colt Davis works another inning with 2 strikeouts to his credit already as this one's fouled down the line to left, and it's 1-1.
You could see Cade Davis still has good velocity well out in front with that fastball. Left-handed batters clearly behind.
1-1. Off the plate, 2-1. Colt Davis coming into this one 3-2 with a 2.53 ERA. Now up to 25 strikeouts. Still 8 walks, and he's now thrown 25 and a third innings as this one's fouled off down the left field line.
Blinn holds on, send one's into the bullpen there of the Bombers. I'll tell you what, Blinn made a nice little play there defensively as we get a look at the bullpen there, and a youngster tracking down that foul ball. But there's a little bobble there as he was coming across second base there, scooping that one up to get him out of the inning. He had just a split second there where he had to regain control and zip it over, kind of hurry up his throw.
2-2 lifted to left. Madsen is there.
Yeah, and Colt Davis just poured it on, just kept giving him fastball, away, and he finally got Blinn to pop up to that left field.
2 runs, 2 hits, 3 errors for the Rail Riders. 2 runs, a hit, and 1 error for the Black Sox as Carson Chiprez comes in. He reached on that 1 error that was charged to Farron at shortstop for the Black Sox back in his first trip to the plate in the second. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Chiprez, as Andy mentioned earlier, one of several players in the Corn Belt League out of Southeast Community College, just about an hour and a half away.
Also has a really nice average here this season, batting .282 out of the 6 hole here for the Rail Riders. And that was a good point Casey Siwa made, back in the third inning, how there's quite the adjustment period for these, hitters to move to a wooden bat.
Sure.
From their metal bat during the regular season.
And that's something you always mentioned, Andy, was that adjustment will in turn make them a better hitter.
It really will, but it takes time. It takes a few at bats, early on this season. Big looping swing there, a little high and outside. Chiprez couldn't catch up to it.
2-2 the count. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by United Healthcare. Tune in to News Channel Nebraska for the Husker Coaches Show, brought to you by United Healthcare. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, no one on, and make it a full count. Fastball stays up, and it's 3-2.
I think that Coaches Show is going to have a little bit more life to it this year with Coach Matt Rule. Anyway, so far, all of his speaking engagements, boy, he really gets a crowd tuned in. He's kind of an upbeat guy.
I think it's going to be a very good show. I'm interested to see how that one turns out in this whole
Nice
Rule
pitch.
era. Everybody's really excited for it, and I'm sure Colt Davis is excited for strikeout number 3 as he sets down Carson Chiprez, wins the full count battle.
Yeah, totally fooled Chiprez there. A lot of movement on it. Looked like a little bit of a slider going away from the Chiprez, caught swinging.
So that brings up Luke Slager, the first baseman, comes into this one having scored a run, reaching on a fielder's choice back in the second. The 9th run he's scored this season as he takes one off the plate for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, you think of a big first baseman, kind of a lumberjack type of guy, and that's what you get in Slager here, batting in the 6 hole. But he was doing some dancing out there on the base paths, and he was kind of making his presence known, especially when he got to third and actually end up coming home on that pass ball.
Yeah, 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. A long look in. Infield. Davis to his left secures it. A 1-2-3 inning for the first time tonight as we end the top of the 4th with a pop-up. Andy, I think it's time we play some trivia.
I think you're right. The folks over at the Nebraska Brewing Company, good folks, are the ones sponsoring tonight's trivia question. So let's get it up here for you, Jake. The starting third baseman for the Phillies this year, Alec Baum, played high school ball where?
Roncalli Catholic.
Norris, Roncalli, or Grand Island? It sounds like you're pretty steadfast here for Roncalli.
Was that right?
Well, let's see. You nailed it. Yep. Now, how'd you know that one just right off the bat like that? Because you're a Chicago White Sox guy, not a Phillies.
I am. So the way I knew that is we had a game where I announced for Beatrice. They played Roncalli. I had to prepare for Roncalli. So I thought, all right, outside of the players here, let's find a little tidbit. I was walking through their school. They had a presentation of professional athletes, and I saw Alec Baum.
Oh, boy. So we weren't going to sneak that one by you due to the work you've done previously for News Channel Nebraska covering high school ball during the regular baseball season.
That's probably accurate. We'll take a short break. We'll get back here for the bottom of the fourth inning on NCN.
At Farmers Pride, we are proud to work with agricultural producers, commercial businesses, and homeowners. As a farm supply and grain marketing cooperative, we are proud to serve the region's needs of grain, feed, agronomy, energy, and transportation for over 80 years. We help the farmers who feed the world by providing the people, products, and programs to deliver solutions for our customers' success. Farmers Pride, in the field, on your farm, in your community.
As we get back here on News Channel Nebraska, I'm a trivia winner. How about it, Andy? 2-0.
Yep, you're 2 for 2 now. See, just like adjusting to the wooden bat, you just had to kind of get your feel for the trivia and the type of questions that would be thrown at you here.
Yeah, last week it was the Pat Vendetti rule. Tonight,
yep,
a little bit of prior broadcasting work and got me a win.
I didn't even get through the multiple choice questions there like Roncalli. I don't even think you needed the multiple choice.
I didn't. 1 ball, 1 strike as we work through the bottom of the fourth inning here. 2 runs, 2 hits, a trio of errors for the Rail Riders. 2 runs on just 1 hit and an error for the Bombers as they've taken advantage of those 3 errors to lead to 2 runs as Poston, Aberg, and Farron come to the plate here in the fourth. Andy, I had some certified Piedmontese beef over the weekend.
Did you?
I did.
I saw you were doing some fishing as well. So did you go catch some fish, then get on the grill?
Was the other way around. I went on the grill and then said, you know what, I had a great meal, so I'm going to go do some fishing.
There you go. Sounds like a pretty nice little weekend then.
Yeah, certified Piedmontese beef. A little more about it. Lean, tender, and delicious, shipped right to your doorstep. You can order at cpbeef.com, and that goes down as another infield single and a leadoff infield single here for Josh Poston. He's aboard for the time and as many trips to the plate.
Hustled the whole way there, beat out the throw, and lead man on base, not on base here for the Bombers. So they're in business, and you mentioned it as we got back out of break there. The Bombers have done a really nice job taking advantage of the mishaps of the Rail Riders. Those 2 errors directly led to 2 runs.
Jacob Aberg comes to the plate, second baseman 0 for 1, flew out to right. It's the first out in the second inning as that one's fouled off by the wood planking behind home plate. 0-1. Aberg out of Peru State, land of Andy Klassen.
Oh, yeah. Old Bobcat. You know, I love to see that.
0-1. Caught up with a couple of Peru State Bobcats at college media days on Monday.
Yes, I saw you were down there. I saw you were talking to a lot of Doane Tigers as well.
A couple of Hastings Broncos.
Yep.
0-2 the count to Aberg, and he's able to get a ball on the scoreboard as he lays off a pitch in the dirt, 1-2.
Yeah, Peru State's had a couple of really nice seasons. I think it was not this last season, but before, a defensive back, Delonte Hood, actually got invited to the Pro Day with the Huskers, and he actually ran the fastest 40 at that event.
He did indeed. I do remember that. And the grounder hit towards second, and the second baseman Matchin can't come up with it. And we'll see if that goes down as a 4th error here on the Rail Riders.
I mean, it wasn't an easy play, but you'd like to think that was a makeable play. And once again, that gets another runner on the base path here for the Bombers. Can they take advantage? You know, Dalton Farron would love to do that. The shortstop now at the plate.
And it is a fourth error charged to the Rail Riders. I think I mentioned it was the Bombers. The Bombers have an error themselves as this one dribbles down the third base line, ruled foul at the very last second.
Not a bad idea there. Just didn't square it up and kind of sent a rocket down that third base line. Easily went foul.
0-1 the count to Dalton Farron, the shortstop. 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
No outs here, though, and got a runner on second base, runner on first.
No balls, 1 strike. And then that one off the plate, 1-1.
That's what you like to see, you know, if you're on the coaching staff for the Bombers, is Farron being patient at the plate, especially coming off a strikeout.
This one hit towards center field. Charging in is Torres, and he makes the catch, and everybody stays put.
Torres with an excellent jump there in center field, reading that one perfectly off the bat of Farron.
2-2 our score. 2 runs, 2 hits for either side. The difference, 4 errors for the Rail Riders and 1 error for the Bombers. The Bombers, the home team in this one, obviously batting here in the bottom of the 4th, and it brings up Gage Allen, Ventura College third baseman. No official at bat so far. He walked back in the 2nd. Comes in with runners on 1st and 2nd here in the 4th, and he fouls one off the end of the bat.
Oh, boy. That fastball from Urich still has some life to it.
4th inning is brought to you in part by John Henry's, Our Family Serving Yours. No balls, 1 strike with 1 away. The 0-1. Grounder hit towards short. This could be 2. On to second for 1. Over to first in time. 6-4, 3, and the inning is over. We will head to the 5th on NCN. Tie ball game. We got a good one.
NCN Sports is sponsored by Certified Piedmontese Beef, Real Nebraska Beef, Region 4 Behavioral Health System, affordable, accessible, quality mental health and substance abuse services, and by Schaefer's. We're more than just TVs and appliances.
The Heart and Vascular team at Faith Regional Cardiovascular Institute has spent the last 22 years focused on providing the highest level heart care possible. With over 24,000 patients seen in the last 2 years alone, we know cardiac care by heart. Today, we offer the most advanced practices and technology to patients in 11 local communities, ensuring easier access to cardiology services. With specialists focusing on heart failure, vascular diseases, thoracic surgery, abnormal heart rhythms, and general cardiology, you can count on our heart experts to collaborate to provide you with the best care possible. Faith Regional Cardiovascular Institute, keeping a pulse on the hearts of Nebraska for over 2 decades, is the Faith difference.
Miles Gardino, Jake Murakami, and Jack Schaefer due up here for the Rail Riders in a tie ball game, 2-2, as it's now a 2-0 count to Gardino. Beautiful inning-ending double play on the other side.
Really was. Pitcher's best friend there. Gets a ground ball up the middle. Middle infielders take care of it. Really nice exchange there between short and second base.
Grounder hit towards short. Farron is up with it. The throw is, I think it went down as a base hit, Andy. He was safe at the plate. I didn't see what the call was. The official was, I was kind of blocked by one of the rails here behind home plate, but it looks like it's going to go down as an error and a leadoff hit, runner on.
I think they're going to say that Cade Davis, the first baseman, didn't get his right foot down on the bag when he came down with it. He had enough time, it appeared, just missed the bag.
Barron charged with the error. It's the second error of the night.
Yeah, it was a little high.
Second for the Bombers.
Right, it was a little high, but it was in time, and it looked like Davis had an opportunity there to get his foot down on the bag. Just, I think when he came down, he didn't find it.
1-1 the count. Pitch. Floater to left.
Wow.
And sliding in. Did he make the catch? He did. Farron makes up for a couple of errors with a nice play sliding in the outfield. That'll go down as a line out to short.
I mean, that was a Texas leaguer hit to no man's land, but Farron with that speed and range gets there. The sliding backhand. Are you kidding me?
Great play for an out number one. And now a double play situation comes into the equation for Jack Schaefer, who singled and stole a base back in the third.
You're exactly right. That was a huge out for this Bombers defense. And the man still on the mound there, Colt Davis.
Long look in by Davis. Grounder towards short. Here's a chance at it. Not even going to take the chance as Farron. He'll flip on to first for the easy out. Goes down as a fielder's choice, so Gardino moves up to second, but there's one gone.
Dalton Farron is he's staying pretty active out there at shortstop, which is to be expected. Colt Davis really uses his defense as a pitcher, but that was another one of those tough plays there, Jake, where he had to charge the whole way, catch it on a short hop, and then throw it over on a short crow hop because it was a bang-bang as that grass infield really gobbled that one up.
He's been in on a third of the at-bats tonight and balls put into play as Dalton Farron at shortstop. That's a pretty high percentage.
Yes.
Back to the top of the order here for Steven Matchin as he takes a ball 1-0. Poston slides to his right to haul that one in. Getting to the point where we get an opportunity to remind you to stick around for our post-game show, brought to you in part by USAVE Pharmacy. They're dedicated to the well-being of all of their customers. Andy, we've got a long way to go in this one yet.
We really do. It's all knotted up. We thought we might have a little bit of a pitcher's duel, and we're seeing phenomenal pitching from Nicholas Mersick, but then also Colt Davis matching him here for the Bombers. But we've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen some, errors from the infield, some lively bats. What a snag there!
And a line out to first ends the inning. So great display of some defense here in the fifth inning after a leadoff man gets aboard with an error. The Rail Riders can't do anything with it. Bombers coming to bat.
What does farming mean to you? For most, it's hard work, dedication, and livelihood. Unfortunately, that also comes with risk. At Nebraska Crop Insurance in Beatrice, they know the non-stop dedication involved to keep your family protected from that risk and ensure their livelihood. Not only do they know everything about the coverage you need, they're also farmers themselves. So protect what means the most to you with the agent who knows what it means to be a farmer. Nebraska Crop Insurance, 615 Dorsey Street in Beatrice.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. If your business needs help financing big-ticket items, visit gocurrency.com for details. And by Custom Sports. Represent your school and look good doing it with Custom Sports.
Welcome back to a good one at J.J. Isaacson Field, getting ready for the bottom of the fifth inning as Nick Mersick stays on the mound. He's had a good game so far, but Andy has not had a lot of help behind him.
Well, just some more unfortunate plays, and more than that, they're just timely plays where the Bombers did have a runner on board or on base in a scoring position. You get a pass ball, an overthrown ball, and give the Bombers a lot of credit for taking advantage of what's happening on the field and making those errors from the Rail Riders really cost them.
Tyson McAlexander will lead things off here. He drove in a run on an error in his first trip to the plate. Simpson College product leads off the fifth. It's McAlexander, then back to the top of the order with Camden Madsen and Nick Ripa. 10-1 and 2. First pitch off the plate, 1-0.
And you got to think, Coach Wes King that we've seen a couple times here for the Bombers make his appearance known when a couple times he had to go out to the mound and talk to his starting pitcher, Davis. But he's got to be happy with these at-bats from the Bombers. They're putting the ball in play and kind of letting the chips fall where they may, and good things have happened. Knotted things up, 2-all here with the Rail Riders as we get into the latter half of this game.
1 ball, 1 strike as this one's fouled off right side, 1-2.
Still see that fastball from Mursick. I mean, it's still got some good life to it, good velocity.
1-2 the count. And Mursick again, average throwing up in the mid to upper 80s. Velocity plentiful tonight here in the Corn Belt League as this one's popped up on the infield, playable for Slager for out number 1.
Excellent job by Lucas Slager calling off the second base pitcher. He had the angle on that one. That's who you want to charge in and make that call, make that play.
Camden Madsen comes in 0 for 1, a walk in the first and a hot shot to third in the second. Comes in, base is empty, 1 gone, tie ball game here in Omaha.
What that average that he has, 387.
Grounder to third, gets past Christensen, and then it eats up Blinn, and it's our 7th total error of the ball game.
And that's a tough one because Madsen, he kind of tripped himself up trying to get out of the box, knew he was going to have to be in a hurry if it was fielded cleanly. Instead, it gets by both the third baseman and shortstop from the Rail Riders.
5th error of the night for the Rail Riders.
And it brings another base runner on board for the Bombers.
Runner goes, heading down for second, and getting there safely is Madsen, a stolen base.
Excellent jump for the leadoff man there, getting a free one, motoring 90 feet closer here to home plate.
Brings the go-ahead run into scoring position. They did call that a hit, Andy Klassen.
I heard a little discussion over there from the guys.
So it goes down as an infield single. Would have been a 7th error in this ball game, which is a lot.
It really is, and these two pitchers, they really lean on their defense. We've seen a lot of ground balls here tonight.
2-0 the count to Nick Ripa.
Oh, nice pitch.
Curveball.
See the movement on that one, just dropped right in the bucket there for a strike.
The 5th inning is brought to you in part by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of your pain, not just the symptoms. 2-1 the count. Nearly got a piece of Ripa, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, just a little inside there off the plate. You saw Chris Bollifer, the catcher, try to frame that one up, but as you mentioned, just a little too far in.
There you see Wes King, third base coach. Been really pleased with this group this season, and we had him on the broadcast a few weeks ago. Really informative, really a fan of everything going on with the Corn Belt League.
Right, and you really got to like the competitive nature that we've seen throughout this entire season. And KCC was, we see a foul ball there, staying alive. Catcher saying, I held on, I held on. Umpire's going to talk it over.
Well, the initial call was a foul ball, and a little bit of a head shake there from Chris Bollifer behind the plate. There you see the officials get together. Don't know if they can overturn that. They guess they can. Strike 3.
I think the home plate umpire agreed with the catcher, Chris Bollifer, that he caught it cleanly. Guy out in the field didn't see anything that could take that away from him. Good on Blue. The umpires are getting together, talking it over. I believe getting that call right.
3rd strikeout of the ball game for Nicholas Mursick. He's now tied his counterpart, Colt Davis, in that category, and most importantly, 2 away, as it brings up Carson Wright. 0 for 2 with an RBI. He struck out in the first, drove in a run on a deep sacrifice fly to center in the 3rd.
That came after one of those errors you were talking about, moved the runner from first all the way to third base. Then Carson Wright just had to poke one out in the outfield, good for the ribby.
1-0 chases a fastball outside, 1-1.
No chance of that one. Nicholas Mersick totally fooled Carson Wright on that last pitch. Saw a little head shake there from Mr. Wright.
It's a ball and a strike. That one outside, 2-1. Been fastball dominant in this inning as Nick Mersick.
I think they gave him a strike there, saying it was in just enough. 1-2 is your count.
Well, and now he's another fastball away from getting out of the inning, and he does just that. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the fifth as this game remains tied. Boy, we've got a good one, don't we, Andy?
Yes, we do, and we're running out of outs for both of these squads.
We're heading to the sixth on NCN.
There is a hometown touch. You save pharmacy. When we say you save, we mean you save. All part of the hometown touch, where you always feel free to ask. There is a hometown touch. You save pharmacy.
At Elkhorn Valley Bank, we believe in local. It's something we live by. It's something we're proud of. It's helping our neighbors grow like they've helped us. Supporting families, investing in lives, and creating prosperity. Local means making decisions that grow and improve surrounding communities we call home. Investing in our nonprofits and giving back. Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust, great for you, great for your community.
There's the man, Colt Davis, stays in the ball game here. Andy, both of these pitchers looking like they're going to give quality starts.
Yeah, we thought that we might have a little bit of a pitcher's duel here tonight. We really have, and I'll tell you what, good on these two young arms, kind of navigating through a couple defensive woes as well, a couple errors we've seen really from both teams. But Colt Davis and his counterpart, Nicholas Mersick, there for the Rail Riders, are able to kind of elevate their game and play above that pitch above it.
And due up in this half of the inning, Kennan Christensen, Max Torres, Chris Bollifer. Christensen to the plate right now, takes a strike, 0-1. And he's hit into a fielder's choice and struck out in his first two trips to the plate.
Really like that location right there from Colt Davis. Catching the outside corner, good for the second strike.
0-2. Grounder in a tough spot. Long run in for Farron. The throw in time by just maybe an eyelash.
I mean, Farron knew that he had to put a hurry up on it, and he did just that. Look how fast the exchange goes from leather to hand here, and the quick throw just in time.
Boy, that was close. 6-3 on the out, and it's a quick out number one. 3 pitches and a ground out. Max Torres comes in 1 for 1, a single and a stolen base in the first. He walked back in the third when Casey Siwa joined the broadcast.
And Dalton Farron stays busy over there at the shortstop position for the Bombers.
And he's been involved in 9 plays tonight. Of course, stay tuned after the ball game for our top plays brought to you by Currency. Going to have a couple of defensive ones in there, I would think.
I would think so. And I think Farron with that backhanded sliding catch, that was a huge out, especially how that was able to keep the runner over there at first base and keep that double play in play.
You know, and when there's a game like this where you have 6 total errors, every big defensive play becomes twice as big.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
2 balls, 1 strike to Max Torres. Upstairs, and it's 3-1, high and inside.
We also saw a heck of a defensive play to kind of close out the inning not too long ago where Colt Davis, the pitcher for the Bombers, got a little help from his brother, Cade Davis, snagging one there over at first base.
Yeah, both out of the Nebraska City area. 3-1 the count. That's ball 4, so a ground out and a 1-out walk puts a man aboard here for Chris Bolifer, the catcher.
Boy, that wasn't too far off the plate. Credit Torres there for laying off that one as it drifted just outside.
Curtis Flint warming up in the bullpen for the Rail Riders. No action yet for Wes King and the Bombers, but Curtis Flint, who has an ERA of 0 in over a dozen innings thrown, getting his warm-up pitches in. 1 out, 1 on, and a tie ball game in Omaha. The pitch, that one high in the zone for a strike, and Bolifer a little glance back at the home plate umpire after that one.
We've seen that from time to time, that, across the letters, across the numerals there, that's been called a strike.
Pitchers have adjusted, too. That was an example there with Colt Davis.
Yeah, a little bit of that off speed there, kind of left upstairs, but good for that opening strike.
0-1. Outside, 1-1.
Give old Josh Poston a lot of credit for getting out of his crouch there and keeping that runner at first base, not allowing for a pass ball.
1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out.
One, 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
Bolifer 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs, but this one down for a hit, and it gets past right in right. Here's a big turn of the corner by Torres. He'll be held up by Jonathan Francisco at third. Smart, because it's runners on second and third with 1 out.
You also get the courtesy runner for the catcher here, so you're going to get some speed on second base, and Nolan Chandler as he enters the game. So just a base hit here could tack 2 more on for the Rail Riders.
That'll be a big turn of events here. The Rail Riders kicked off the scoring and led in the second 2-1. Well, the Bombers tied it up in the third, but it's up to Peyton Blinn, who has a hit on the night, 1 for 2, a single to center in the second, and a fly out to left in the fourth. Peyton Blinn batting .277, 6 RBIs this year.
A nice pitch. Way to open it up with that off speed there. Colt Davis kind of tying up Blinn.
0-1 the count, 1 out. The double by Bolifer, his third of the season. 0-1. Here's a shot into the gap in left center. This is going to score a pair, and the Rail Riders have taken a 2-run lead. It's 4-2 in the 6th.
And just a couple of quality at-bats back-to-back from Bolifer and Blinn. Not overpowering, actually going opposite field on both occasions, but getting enough on it to get it in the gap, as you mentioned. And we said with the speed on second base, Nolan Chandler, the courtesy runner for catcher Chris Bolifer after he whacked a double, that really gave the Rail Riders a prime opportunity, which they took full advantage, tacking 2 more runs on here late in this game.
First 2 RBI game of the summer for Peyton Blinn, and it gives the Rail Riders the lead, 4-2 here as we are in the top of the 6th inning.
They're not done yet, only 1 out.
And it's Carson Chaprez to the plate here. Our sixth inning brought to you in part, our coach's interview after the broadcast brought to you in part by Sarpy County Tourism. Stay tuned after the game for our coach's interview. We'll talk to the winning coach, also one of the winning players from this one.
Blinn, excellent jump there. Motors down to second base. Good for another stolen base on the year.
Moves him into scoring position as well. One ball, 1 strike with 1 out as this one's fouled down the line, 1-2. One and two to Chaprez, who was 0 for 1. He reached on an error and struck out in the fourth. 1-2. Lined towards short. The
Got him.
throwback is in time. A double play. Boy, we've talked about how busy Dalton Farron has had to be at shortstop tonight, and he ends the inning right there. 6-4 double play, and we head to the bottom half. 2-run score. It's a 4-2 lead. Bombers looking to answer late.
NCN Sports is sponsored by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. Columbus Motor Company, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
Women have a 1 in 8 chance for developing breast cancer. Early detection makes a difference. Beatrice Community Hospital's Imaging Center can help with the latest technology, from screening with 3D mammography, breast MRI, breast ultrasound, and breast biopsy. All services conveniently located in the BCH's Imaging Center. Schedule your screening today. Incredible care, incredibly close.
Let your next adventure take flight in Sarpy County, Nebraska for some high-flying fun. Legendary family adventures, out-of-this-world shopping, star-studded evenings, and award-winning experiences. Our flights are never canceled. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com.
Welcome back to J.J. Isaacson Field. The Rail Riders have just taken a 4-2 lead, and Jonathan Francisco keeping his starter, Nicholas Mersick, on the mound. 4-1 on the year, 2.78 ERA. Tonight, 4 strikeouts, and he's only allowed 2 runs, and only 1 has come earned.
Yeah, doing a really nice job keeping that fastball lively. The velocity's still up there as he sneaks in a strike for that opening pitch here against Davis.
Yeah, Cade Davis, Tommy Rowland, Josh Poston due up as this one's lined to center field. Torres calmly over to his right for out number 1.
Once again, Torres with a really nice first step, tracking that ball, making it look easy. And we mentioned as we went to break there, but how about Dalton Farron and the job he's been able to do at shortstop, kind of bouncing back after a couple early errors. The awareness he had after snagging that line drive and zipping it over to second base, knowing that it was good for the force out, the double play, get him out of the inning.
Tommy Rowland comes in 0 for 2, couple of ground outs to shortstop. 1 gone here. 1-0. This one lifted down the left field line, hooking foul, 1-1. Our 6th inning brought to you in part by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Stop into their Lincoln or Grand Island locations to help your jewelry dreams come true. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You saw it right there. When Mersick dials up that fastball, usually your batters are still behind that. One fading foul to the left field line on a left-handed batter.
1 ball, 1 strike. That one inside, so it's 2-1. A 2-1 outside, 3-1.
And this is where you like to be as a hitter. You know, you get ahead in the count, you work at 3-1. You know Mersick has to bring you something to hit.
3-1, called a strike, and the count runs full at 3-2. Getting towards sunset here in Omaha, just before 9 o'clock. Another good pace to the ball game, too.
Really has been. Both of these pitchers, whether it's Mersick or Colt Davis, they got a good pace. They don't waste too much time dilly-dallying around up on the mound there, as we do see an opening walk, though, from Nicholas Mersick.
Yeah, Rowland walks with 1 out, and it brings up Josh Poston, who walked and scored a run in the 2nd. and reached on an infield single back in the fourth. An infield single that could have gone either way as a hit or an error. First pitch, a strike. It's 0-1.
And once again, you have a left-handed batter sending a foul ball off to the right side.
The 0-1 outside. It's 1-1. One ball, one strike, one out.
Oh.
Swing and a miss at a changeup, 1-2.
Totally caught Josh Poston, thinking of a different pitch was coming his way. Mersick doing a nice job changing things up there from the mound.
One, two. Off the end of the bat, foul down the right field line.
And you just kind of felt like Poston was swinging there regardless, one to, kind of protect the plate. Didn't want to go down looking.
One ball and two strikes. That one fouled straight back.
Give Josh some credit here. Josh Poston, the catcher here for the Bombers, staying alive, found a couple pitches off. And we do have some action over in the bullpen for the Rail Riders. Curtis Flint looks like he's warming up.
Yeah, still has a 0.0 ERA with the year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mersick taking a little bit more time between pitches here as he gets into the later innings. 2-2. Chopper down the third base line.
And he's got quite a duel going on here with Josh Poston. Poston doing a really good job. Kind of reminds me like a Tony Gwynn or somebody, just fouling off ball after ball here, staying alive. And he's still down the count, 2-2.
He's looking for strikeout number 5 is Mersick, the 2-2. There it is. Called strike 3. So the second batter he set down looking, and it's a big second out.
That late movement brought it right back over the middle of plate. Caught Josh Poston staring that one right down the middle. Good for, as you mentioned, another strikeout.
Jacob Aberg comes in 0 for 1 with a fly out to right in the second. He reached on an error in the fourth. First pitch upstairs. It's a ball, 1-0.
Just kind of floated away there for Nicholas Mersick. Got away for him. Aberg getting ahead in the count.
1-0. In there for a strike, 1-1. Part of our post-game show, the player of the game, brought to you in part by Nebraska Orthopedic Center. Stay tuned after the game to see who that player is, and you'll catch up with that player of the game as well as the head coach of the winning team. If it ended right now, we'd be talking to the Rail Riders, and we'd have a conversation of who that player of the game would be.
We really would, because it's such an even game really across the board. We've seen great defensive play. We've seen a pretty good pitcher's duel here.
1-2 lifted to right. This is playable, and the catch is made for out number 3. Chiprez secures the flyout by Aberg. Runner gets aboard, but the Bombers strand the walk on first. We head to the 7th, 4-2 lead for the Rail Riders. They're looking to add to it after this.
Claybaugh Pharmacy provides you with all the pharmacy options a person would need. As a full-service pharmacy, we give you all the traditional options, but also have the modern technology to maintain your profiles. Maybe you're busy. Head to claybaughpharmacy.com. Click on online refills to get your prescriptions filled from the convenience of your home. Claybaugh Pharmacy and Gift Shop, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
NCN Sports is sponsored by Certified Piedmontese Beef, Real Nebraska Beef, Region 4 Behavioral Health System, affordable, accessible, quality mental health and substance abuse services, and by Schaefer's. We're more than just TVs and appliances.
Whether you play on a field or play on a court or are running to greatness, during the game and after the game, during the wins and during the losses, Agri City Insurance has you covered. Here to help you ensure what matters most. Agri City Insurance.
Welcome back to J.J. Isaacson Field. Colt Davis staying out there for the 7th as the lights have come on as we reach dusk here in the Omaha area. Rail Riders looking to add to their lead. It'll have to come from Lucas Slager, Miles Gardino, and Jake Makarami in the 7th here. First pitch from Davis on its way, and that one outside, 1-0.
Colt Davis getting the opportunity here to pitch the complete game. Saw him have a word with his brother, Cade Davis, the first baseman, as just before he went from that pan shot. Beautiful shot there, coming in from the outfield and transitioning to the pitcher.
1 ball, no strikes. Colton Cade, Colt on the mound, Cade over at first. Chopper foul, and that evens the count.
Excellent get back pitch. Get one in on the hands there of Lucas Slager, the big old first baseman for the Rail Riders.
And due up for the Bombers in their half of the 7th. It's the bottom of the order exactly. 8, 9, and 10. Farron, Allen, and McAlexander. 0-1, line towards second. Gobbled up, and it was ruled it out. Just to be sure, Aberg took a throw over to first.
First baseman, Cade Davis, wasn't ready for it. Good thing he caught it, though, on the line drive.
So 1 away after the line out to second. It brings up Gardino. Gardino, a sacrifice ground out that scored a run in the 2nd. Then he reached on an error in the 5th.
So no harm, no foul, 1 away. Colt Davis continues to kind of cruise here tonight.
Davis in the windup. Just misses low with a fastball, 1-0. Working quickly, Davis, fastball this time high, and it's 2-0.
Gardino getting ahead in the count here early. Let's see if he can work it. Use it to his advantage.
Catbird seat at 2-0 as this one's hit down the line, and he will
It's
work
in.
it to his advantage. Gets aboard, takes the turn at first, gets halfway to second, but he'll be settled with a single to left.
I think that was a good decision there. Go ahead and just stay at first base. Be happy with the base runner here. It looked like it had a chance to go for extra bases, but that was not the case. Quick relay in.
1 ball, no strikes. And he drove one into left field.
I believe Ian Zachary entered the game as a pinch runner, getting some more speed out there. And not surprising, as Coach Francisco really likes to gamble with on the base pass, especially when he has a little bit of a lead, which he has here, top of the 7th, up 2 runs.
1-0 the count to Montgomery, designated hitter. There's the public address announcement. Ian Zachary, the pinch runner over on first base, 4 stolen bases this year. 1 more run would be a solid cushion heading in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, you'd always like that 1 extra insurance run as you head into the bottom of the 7th, which is the final inning in the Corn Belt League. Not a 9-inning game, but 7-inning game.
2-0 the count with 1 out. Wind up. Lifted into foul ground. Allen got over there. Heads up, Jason, our cameraman.
Saw those reflexes over there. Jason was like a cat, I tell you what.
I think he's okay. I don't think he did.
Nope.
There's a thumbs up from
Got the
Jason.
Thumbs up there. All right.
2 balls, 1 strike after the foul pop. Well, you got Zay over on the first base line. He hasn't had much action that way in terms of foul balls in his neighborhood, but Jason has.
He has. And that speaks to the velocity that Colt Davis is pitching at and the number of left-handed batters.
2-1, and the throw escapes into the outfield as it goes down as a stolen base for Ian Zachary. Pinch running for Gardino.
That's exactly why Zachary had entered the game, to give him some speed on the base path. As you mentioned, tack on that extra insurance run here in the top of the 7th.
3 balls, 1 strike. Three-1 is low, and that is ball 4. So now a single and a walk after a quick first out for Colt Davis.
We are having some arms get loose over there in the Bombers bullpen. I believe that's Josh Kilzer.
First time we've seen anybody in their bullpen tonight.
He threw a couple that last inning, but it didn't last long as he had that double play, and Davis was able to get himself out of trouble.
Jack Schaefer comes in, Simpson College product. 1-4-2 tonight, single and a ground out. 1-0 fouled off, 1-1.
Had that not been a foul ball, that could have been a problem there, the way that just kind of rolled out in between the catcher and pitcher there, no man's land. Kind of would have felt all runners would have advanced.
1-1 the count. With 1 out, runners on first and second. Flipped foul. That one drops on the fence on the right side. Another right in the neighborhood of one of our cameramen.
Lay off the equipment, guys.
1-2 the count. Last week it was at us. It was us in the booth. We had a couple go off the roof. We had one come right on my side of the window. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. Our 7th inning has been brought to you in part by Columbus Community Hospital. Experience excellence at Columbus Community Hospital. Your health is our top priority. Rip through the left side. That's going to get a run across. Wait, we're going to have a play at the plate. The throw is out. What a throw from left field. It looked like a sure run coming in from second base, but Zachary thrown out. Good throw by Madsen from left.
Madsen came up throwing, and he put it on a line. What a line it was. As it looked like Schaefer placed that one perfectly in between third and short, and having shortstop have to cover second base. Not the case, as you get to see a little bit of the hose throwing somebody out there from left field.
Wes King is making the slow stroll out to the mound. Looks like that might do it for Colt Davis, and if it is, a valiant effort. Obviously right there, in most scenarios, that would have been a run scored. But we'll see if Wes King is going to pull the plug on Davis. We'll step aside on NCN.
At Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk, their focus is on you. As the leading provider of optometry with advanced diagnostics and equipment, they can ensure your eye health is their top priority. A quick glance at their frame area will show you that you can have style as well as function, with plenty of frames to choose from. Their mission is to educate patients and provide cutting-edge technology and exceptional service with personalized care. Come to Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk to clearly see the difference. Why? Because your eyes deserve it.
Colt Davis is staying in the ball game. Wes King went out, probably asked, how you feeling? I'm good, coach. Staying in.
Must have heard what he wanted to hear there, because this brings in your leadoff man, Steven Matchin, who's seen him a number of times here tonight. And he's got a runner in scoring position on second base.
And he takes a ball low, 1-0. Matchin so far tonight struggling, however. Couple of ground outs and a fly out to right.
But he got a hold of Davis all three at bats, you know, spraying him across the field there. A couple grounders, and as you mentioned, to that pop-up.
1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Good play at the plate to save a run. Just moments ago, the 1-0, that one low as well. 2 balls, no strikes.
I mean, we've seen it all here tonight, haven't we? Plays at the plate, great defense. A really good pitcher's duel that we've talked about a number of times between Colt Davis and Nicholas Mersick.
2-0 the count. Fouled off right side, 2-1.
And you see Mr. Colt Davis still has some life to his fastball as well. Gets one by the leadoff man, Stephen Matchin of the Rail Riders.
2-1 with 2 gone.
A little bit of pause in the game as we've had so many foul balls. The umpires need to replenish their baggie there on the side. Ran out of game balls.
Had to go get some from the concession stands. Did the umpires get a prize when they get the balls back?
I don't know. I have to ask old KC Sewell about that.
Yeah, it's a good call. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Matchin fouls it off.
Ooh.
Count evens at 2. Boy, that hit the light pole.
We've seen that twice now. That happened about a week ago.
And that's the type of thing that if you were trying to do it, you just couldn't.
Not in a million tries.
So now 2-2-2. 3 2s on the scoreboard and a 4-2 2-run lead for the Omaha Rail Riders. Colt Davis trying to hold it right there to give the bottom of the order an opportunity in the bottom of the 7th. Glance to second. Davis, swing and a miss, strike 3. His 4th strikeout of the ball game. It's an 0-for-4 night for Matchin, the leadoff hitter, as he strands runners on first and second. It's do or die trying for the Omaha Bombers. Rail Riders looking to close this one down after this.
Other companies have the revolving door. Every time we come into Schaefer's, it's always the same people. And the big thing to me is they know you by name. They know who you are, which makes a person like myself feel just warm and welcome here. And that's what's great about Schaefer's.
Schaefer's has the essential Whirlpool appliances you need, from refrigerators and air fry ranges to laundry pairs to keep your clothes clean and sanitized at everyday low prices. At Schaefer's, we are more than just TVs and appliances.
Home is more than a place. It is a feeling, a refuge, a comfort, and the home lending team at Madison County Bank knows how important it is to you to have a house that feels like a home. Building, remodeling, buying, or renting, no matter your home situation, stop into Madison County Bank to see how we can help you achieve your goal. Madison County Bank, here to help you grow. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Curtis Flint is in to try to close this one down. Andy Klassen, he's been efficient. 12.2 innings pitched, 12 2/3, 36 strikeouts, 6 walks. The kicker, no runs allowed.
You got to love that.
Earned runs.
0 earned runs. And how about that strikeout to walk ratio? Big left-hander here. Looks like he likes to pitch from the stretch. You'd have to assume an overwhelming fastball.
The day is done for starter Nicholas Mersick, who came into this one 4-1. If Flint can do his job here, he'll improve to 5-1. The numbers on Mersick: 6 innings pitched. He allowed 2 runs on 3 hits, both runs unearned, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks. And it's up to Curtis Flint to finish this ball game off. Flint, obviously, a little bit of pressure on him, knowing that he hasn't given up any earned runs. How do you manage that as a closer?
Well, you just got to go out there and keep doing what you're doing, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. And with Mersick, kind of a gutsy performance, right? I mean, he didn't have his best stuff. We saw him walk the leadoff a batter a couple of times, but he was always able to grind it out, figure out a way, and he's got his team in a position here, up 2 runs, looking for the closeout and his 5th win of the season.
Farron will do the hitting here to start. 1-0. Dalton Farron tonight 0 for 2. Line out to center and a strikeout as the first pitch from Curtis Flint, the Dakota State University product, is outside for a ball. Matter of fact, the first 2 pitches out of the zone. It's 2-0.
And if you watched Flint warm up, he was missing high and outside with that fastball. If I'm Dalton Farron, I'm thinking, I got to make him come to me. Got to throw a strike before I swing.
2-0 gets a swinging strike there from Farron, and it's 2-1.
And it looks like our guy, Chris Bala, for the catcher, took another one off the shin there with a foul ball. He's been getting beat up since the beginning of this one.
2 balls, 1 strike, no outs. Wind and deal. Inside, 3-1. Just after 9 o'clock here in Omaha. Good pace.
Real good pace, as we mentioned earlier, and Dalton Farron doing a nice job working this count, getting ahead.
And that's the dreaded leadoff walk issued by Curtis Flint. A rare miscue out of the bullpen for the Dakota State product.
It really is when you start looking at his numbers. As you mentioned, 0 earned runs, and what do you have, like 36 strikeouts to 6 walks or something like that? Just eye-popping numbers, and every day is a new day, though, as Farron's able to work that leadoff walk. And you always love to see that from your left-handed pitcher, Curtis Flint, throwing that first one over to first base, giving Farron something to think about here. But I'm being so conservative, though, if I'm Farron. His run does not matter, Jake. He needs to be aware of that. It's the run behind him that matters, tying this game up. So there's no need to get gunned down at second base or get caught sleeping there with a wide lead or something like that.
Tying run is at the plate, though, in the form of Gage Allen. Gives this one a ride to right field. Chaprez is in and makes the catch for out number 1.
Oh, and Chaprez had to cover a lot of ground there, kind of a sweeping initial take there, but he wanted to get wide, so he took that first step to his left and then gave himself enough room to come in on it. Well played there in right field.
1 away for 10-hole hitter Tyson McAlexander. Reached on an error and drove in a run in the second, popped up to first in the 5th.
And his whole mindset has to be just get on base, extend the game, get on base.
Comes into the runner on first and 1 away, and the pitch to him is a sinker for a strike. Great pitch.
It really was.
Our presenting sponsors for Corn Belt League Baseball include Liberty First Credit Union, and is presented by Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertycu.com, as well as Faith Regional Health Service. When you need exemplary care, have faith.
Flint way out in front of the batter, Tyson McAlexander, right now, as he fouls another one down the right field line. And there was that sinker, Jake, good for the strikeout.
That's out number 2. And one final bullet here in the form of Camden Madsen.
Leadoff man needs to extend this game, and he's a guy that you would like to see up at the plate right now if you are the Bombers, batting .387 on the season.
Madsen coming in tonight, as Andy said, good batting average. Got an infield single, a walk, and a ground out tonight.
He's a leadoff guy, too, and he's batting north of 400 as far as the slugging percentage.
And here's some trouble. Ball bounces off the shin of Chris Bolifer, and that gets a runner over into scoring position as Farron advances to second on the wild pitch.
Could be a big play. You never know what could kickstart a rally, but it definitely takes away the force out at second base from the middle infielders.
2 balls, no strikes. The 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes.
Man, that sinker, that's got some serious movement on it. The bottom just drops out.
Three balls, no strikes.
Wow.
And a 4-pitch walk.
That was pretty gosh darn close there. But as it is, as you mentioned, a 4-pitch walk. And that brings up Nick Repa, who had a heck of a good at-bat not too long ago.
Repa scored a run tonight when he singled back in the third. Otherwise, has reached on an error and struck out.
Bollifer is going to have a word with relief pitcher Curtis Flint here. And I think Bollifer is a good time to go talk to your pitcher. Like, look, he's been calling these high strikes. Your sinker, you're not going to get that call here. Not tonight, not from this umpire. You're going to have to maybe rely on your fastball or at least set that sinker up so it falls in a little bit higher up off the plate.
Yeah, it's already 1-0 here to Repa.
That's 5 straight balls.
Right. Tying run standing on first. Winning run with a bat in his hands in the form of Nick Repa, the Wayne State product. 1-0 is low, 2-0.
And much like I was saying with the leadoff batter of this inning, Dalton Farron, force Flint to come to you as he's having a little bit of trouble here with his location.
2-0. Strike nibbles the lower part of the zone, and it's 2-1.
Felt like a weight was lifted off Flint's shoulders there.
The 2-1. In there for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and now the Rail Riders are 1 pitch away, 1 strike away, getting over 500. The 2-2 won't happen here. High and away, and it's 3-2.
Oh, rocket fire, right? Curtis Flint wanted to shut her down with this fastball. Just got away from just a little bit there. Sailed high and outside.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
We got some drama here, and that did not miss by much there, Jake.
So now a base hit potentially ties this ball game.
And brings up your 3-hole hitter, Carson Wright. Not too many guys you'd much rather have in this position.
Both teams with a tie already this season. 0-1.
And when Flint takes a little bit off of that fastball, it kind of has that looping action. He's throwing 3 straight strikes when he goes to that.
0-1, chases one outside, and it's 0-2.
All right, now if you're Curtis Flint, you can mess around with your sinker, your slider, your changeup. Well ahead in the count here. They're down to their final strike. Are the Bombers once again?
No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2. Low, says the home plate umpire, and it's 1-2.
I'm telling you what, we mentioned it in the first inning, how the strike zone was being called tight, and it's been true throughout the game, so you can't be mad with the umpires.
1-2. Low again, and a ball again, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Still a pitcher's count here, 2-2-2.
Flint to get out of the jam from 0-2 to 3-2.
Tried to shut it down with that fastball, and once again, it got away from him.
3 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs with the bases loaded. Carson Wright against Curtis Flint. Runners go. Ball is in the dirt, and it's ball 4, so that scores a run, and it's 4-3.
Boy, that could have been disastrous if Bollifer would have let that one get by him. Could have had a tie game there on the pass ball. Bollifer, the catcher, is going to go out and talk with Curtis Flint, the relief pitcher here once again. And Francisco, the head coach, is coming out as well.
We'll see if Curtis Flint is out of this ballgame. No one was warming up in the bullpen there, so I don't think they would do that. But we'll pause for 30 seconds on NCN Sports.
At Nebraska Orthopedic Center, they provide comprehensive orthopedic health care. Their physicians are highly skilled in all areas of orthopedic and sports medicine, including spine surgery, foot and ankle, hand and upper extremities, fracture care, and total joint replacement. Their expertise includes the medical management of injuries through physical and rehabilitative methods or surgical intervention. To schedule an appointment or to learn more about Nebraska Orthopedic Center and their family of 25 physicians, go online to nebraskaortho.com. That's nebraskaortho.com. Nebraska Orthopedic Center is your healing destination.
Three balls and two strikes led to a walk of Carson Wright, and now it's Cade Davis who takes strike one. It's 0-1. After the mound visit, we'll see how Curtis Flint responds. Andy, I'd say he's responded well. He's up 0-2 for the first time since the first batter of this inning.
2 straight strikes here after hearing a word from his head coach, Francisco, and the cleanup hitter, Cade Davis, is in a hole.
0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sometimes a mound visit and a word of encouragement is all you need. The Bombers load the bases in the 7th, but Curtis Flint is able to work out of the jam, and the Omaha Rail Riders win it 4-3. 4 runs, 5 hits, 4 errors for the Rail Riders. 3 runs, 3 hits, couple of errors for the Bombers. Andy Klassen will head downstairs. He'll have a conversation with Jonathan Francisco and our player of the game. We'll have to leave you in suspense of who that is. Andy, have a good conversation down there.
It will do, and we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors.
My dad's addiction and death from overdosing on opioids has taught me it's likely that everybody knows somebody who is struggling with this very problem. Losing my mentor, my best friend, he took one pill too many that ultimately killed him.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you gotta check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
The postgame show on NCN is brought to you by You Save Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all our customers.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Woodhouse Chevy is making car buying better. Now with 2 convenient locations in Missouri Valley, Iowa, and our newest location in Omaha at 112th and Dodge. Plus, going on now, receive up to $6,000 off MSRP on the 2023 Chevy Silverado. Visit us in-store or online anytime to shop our current offers and inventory. Find new roads with Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley and now in Omaha.
If you're thinking about becoming a John Deere technician, receive a debt-free degree from Landmark Implement. With the John Deere Student Tech Program, receive reimbursement for up to 100% of college tuition, fees, books, and room and board. plus a $5,000 tool stipend. Students are paid a competitive hourly wage for their work hours and are guaranteed employment at a Landmark location after graduation. Visit landmark.careers to find out more about the John Deere Student Tech program and become part of the Landmark difference.
Welcome back to J.J. Isaacson Field, a 4-3 win for the Rail Riders, but it was a stressful last couple of outs in the bottom of the seventh. Andy Klassen catching up with Jonathan Francisco and our player of the game. Andy, take it away.
Third baseline here with the winning head coach of the Rail Riders, Jonathan Francisco. We get to see you again, and that's a good thing for the Rail Riders, right?
Oh, yeah. First and foremost, I want to say hello to my family back home in California. But, yeah, I mean, it's back to be great to be back in the win column. We've had a little shaky past few games, but it feels good to be back in that win column.
Just mentioned off camera there, nothing comes easy. You guys were kind of cruising there, but things really tightened up. What was the key to pulling off this nail-biter here tonight?
Our pitching. I mean, pitching did well. Nick always does well. Did great tonight. Curtis, you know, gives me gray hair sometimes. He did it again tonight, but he pulled us through.
Kind of expand there on Mercer, because I thought he had a gritty performance. Maybe didn't have his best stuff, but he found a way to get himself out of jams.
Yeah, I mean, he had a rough outing last time, and he told me, yeah, I want to come back. I want to be good. He came out, threw strikes. You know, he a little shaky a little bit here and there, but he found it today, and it was great.
And you mentioned the relief pitcher there, Flint. Loads the bases. Your 3- and 4-hole hitters of the Bombers come up, but he finds a way, gets the strikeout.
Yeah, the stash came through tonight. I mean, it was big time for Curtis to come in, you know, shut the door. If we want to make a good run in playoffs, we're going to need him to keep on doing that.
And you mentioned the playoffs, only about 4 games left of the season. A lot of teams really bunched up in the middle there. How critical are these wins, not only for building confidence down the back end stretch, but also getting that position there heading into the tournament?
I mean, extremely important. I mean, I think we're in that bunch right now, so we got to just keep on winning. And I think tonight put us in a good position to keep on winning.
And what can you tell me about your tonight's player of the game, shortstop, Peyton Blinn? Looking at the stat sheet here, 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs that got you guys that 2-run lead there in the 4th or 5th inning.
Yeah, Peyton came through in the clutch. I mean, he's been here all year long, and when we need him to come through, he comes through.
Coach, thank you for your time. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear from our player of the game. That is Peyton Blinn. 2 for 3 tonight. You also had those 2 RBIs, that single that kind of opened things up and gave your team the lead, and your pitching staff just enough breathing room. What was working for you at the plate here tonight?
I was just really trying to stay short through the ball and just do it for my team, because selfless baseball is a lot easier than selfish baseball. So just trying to do it for the team, score runs, and get ahead.
We talked about the parity of this league and how competitive it is, especially down the stretch here. You got 7 of the 8 teams within 3 games of each other. How critical are these tight wins down the stretch?
They're super critical, and with a good pitching staff like we have, I think it's going to be really easy to pull through on a lot of these close games.
Now, early on, your guy, Mercer, got touched up a little bit, but he was able to kind of find something, dig deep. What does that say about your pitching staff when you have a starter like that, then, you know, maybe not have his best stuff, but finds a way to get that win?
Yeah, I love it. I love pitchers who just attack the zone. Yeah. And just want to get it done, throw ground balls, and just get us out of the inning. And whenever they score runs, it is what it is, but it's nice to have your reliance on those pitchers.
And what was going through your mind? I mean, you guys had that 2-run lead for pretty much the entire second half of that game, but then things really got tight there in the bottom of the 7th. Bases loaded with the 3- and 4-hole hitters of the Bombers up to bat, and they were good batters. Mm-hmm. What were you thinking?
I knew Curtis was going to pull through. I've got a lot of faith in him, so I think that he just did really well. So.
And we're looking at the tournament. What has to continue for you guys to make a run in that tournament heading into next week?
All of our hitters got to be hot, and our pitchers got to be on.
Pretty simple. I like that.
Yep, that's all there is.
Thank you for your time. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Thank you.
All righty, Jake, let's send it back up to you in the booth to wrap this one up.
Thank you to Coach. Thank you to Peyton Blinn. Thank you to Andy Klassen. 4-3, the win. You heard what Coach had to say. Curtis Flint gave him a little bit of a stress test. He's able to pull through and get the win. Good number of highlights in this one, and they came in a variety of forms. Let's take a look now at our top plays, brought to you in part by Currency. Rail Riders and Bombers. Remember, the Bombers played earlier this afternoon, and they fell 3-2. Here's our first run of the ball game. This one, a chopper infield single that scores a run. That coming off the bat of Miles Gardino. That was a sacrifice to shortstop. That scored a run. Back here with the Rail Riders once again. This one, a wild pitch that comes around to score a run. Lucas Slager slides in, able to get a 2-0 lead in the second inning. But we head to the bottom of the second. Bombers getting on the board here. Little bit of trouble here. Getting eaten up was Peyton Blinn. 4 errors tonight by the Rail Riders. That's an RBI error single by Tyson McAlexander. Coming around to score on that one, Josh Poston. So we head to the third. Bombers not going to go away easily. They tie this thing up. Sacrifice fly, Carson Wright to center field. Scores Nick Ripa out of Wayne State. He comes across. We're tied up at 2. Score would remain that way for quite a while. All the way up until the 6th inning. And here's a shot down into the left field gap. 1 run would come across. That would get the Rail Riders up by 2. 1 run, then the second comes in. It's a 4-2 ball game. And then how about this? The Bombers needed something to end this inning. Liner to Farron at shortstop. He had a busy night. 4 putouts alone, and he was in on 12 defensive plays this year. Here's a grounder through the left side of the infield. A little bit of an insurance run. Maybe not. Throw in, tag at home. Great throw in by Madsen to Poston. And here it is, bases loaded. Curtis Flint needs to get out of the jam. All it took was a mound visit from Jonathan Francisco. He rings up the last batter in the ball game, Cade Davis, and 4-3 is your final. Rail Riders over the Bombers. Rail Riders improved to 11-10-1. Bombers lose both games today. They're down to 10-12-1. Our next broadcast of Corn Belt League Baseball, the last of the year on NCN, that'll be the tournament championship coming up next Monday. Lots of good baseball. Even though we might not have the games, we encourage you to come on out to Omaha, see some of these players, some of these local players, some of our coverage areas at NCN. Obviously tonight, a lot of Wayne State players up from the Northeast region in this league and in this game tonight. That's going to do it from Omaha. 4-3 the final. Rail Riders outlasting the Omaha Bombers. We'll talk to you next time. Good night, everybody.